I'm going to let Randy do a quick introduction, and then we're going to get right into today's session and building a commercial package for a property. Randy, over to you.
Thanks, Todd. Yeah, appreciate that. So, hey, welcome you guys. Thanks for joining us today. Todd has been gracious enough to do these webinars once a month for our new system members, and I did post this on Workplace. I know that you've been in the system for a while. But we just appreciate the partnership we have with the TheAnalyst PRO team, with Rena and Todd. I'll just make quick mention that we have had a relationship for about 5 years, working relationship. And about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, we created an agreement between the TheAnalyst PRO and Century 21 Commercial, which allowed a 50% discount. So that's been tremendous, and it's something that really no other organization in the commercial real estate space has that. So we feel very fortunate that we've got a great partner in Todd. Yeah, I think you're going to get a lot out of today. Also, I'm going to make mention up front, and then we can talk about it later. I've got a couple of testimonial videos from system members. I do believe I posted one on Workplace yesterday. Listen to that, because that's real live people using this product, loving the product, and getting a lot out of it. So, but I just encourage you guys to, after today, sign up. If you haven't signed up, even a trial period would be great. I can tell you this will win business. And Todd, towards the end, if you like, I'll share with you what a lot of the system members are telling me on how to go out and get a listing, even a listing appointment. There's some best practices that a lot of our TheAnalyst PRO users are doing that's getting them in the door and also winning some assignments. So maybe towards the end, we can cue that back up.
Boy, that sounds great, Randy. Thank you for that. And that just sounded like a topic. Maybe we should think about putting on a special webinar just for winning listings. So based on that, I also want to give a shout out to Raina Hawkins. She's been doing these training sessions every month. She also can provide to you trainings on a one-on-one basis if you prefer that as well. So Raina, I'm going to have you introduce yourself real briefly, and then I'll get into some trainings and some best practices on our side.
Thank you. So again, my name is Rena Hawkins. I am the customer care manager here for the TheAnalyst PRO. I do the one-on-one demos and trainings with everybody as you onboard for trial or new subscriptions. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I've been in the commercial real estate software side of things for 11 years now, so I'll be happy to help you. You can contact me via support or directly, and I'll post that information in the chat so that you can see that as well. So
awesome.
There you go.
Thank you, Raina. Thanks so much. And well, welcome everybody to the TheAnalyst PRO. Again, as Randy said, I'm Todd Kuhlmann. We started the TheAnalyst PRO in 2011, so going on just over 9 years now of evolving the system, and we're constantly coming out with updates and everything on the TheAnalyst PRO. For those of you not familiar with the TheAnalyst PRO, let me kind of give you a quick, what is this thing? So what we did is we created the TheAnalyst PRO to be, and I'm not going and exaggerating here, this is not any fake news, but to be really the simplest and fastest, easiest commercial real estate analysis platform available. And it's available on the web, it's available on your iPhone, your iPad, your Android devices. It's the only commercial real estate analysis platform available on all your devices with native mobile apps as well. Now, while it's simple and easy to use for you, our whole mission at the TheAnalyst PRO has been to make the maximum amount of output based on your input, so that it does make you look more sophisticated in front of your client. It provides very sophisticated reporting on a commercial real estate level. And that's what I want to show you, take some time today and show you, is how you can quickly and easily go in and make a property flyer for commercial real estate, or even a whole offering memorandum and OM package for commercial real estate. And as Randy was talking earlier, this is a real great way to put your foot in the door and grab that listing. Not only present a listing to a potential buyer, potential tenant, but also to go and obtain that listing as well. This can be done for either lease properties or sale properties. I'm going to go show right now what it does, some of the stuff that it does, And then I'm going to come back and kind of show how you can set up your account and different best practices for that. And of course, Raina can assist with any account setup that you may have within your system. You have the Analyst Pro available to you. It's a subsidy from Century 21 Commercial for all the CIN members. If you're not a member of the CIN, get a hold of Randy Workman. Randy, it's my understanding, and I can't believe this, but it's my understanding that you don't have to pay extra money to be a CIN member. You just have to take an online educational class, right?
That is correct, and something that only Century 21 Commercial does. So all these resources, as far as you have as a commercial specialist, are at no cost to you other than our subsidized partners.
That's amazing. That's absolutely fantastic. All right, so let's take a look at this. First of all, the Analyst Pro has about 23 different tools within our platform system. I have everything from investment analysis tools, and I'll come up here to my analysis report section on the dashboard. So this is the main dashboard. So how we organize these tools is we have a hierarchy, first tier menu, if you will, of analysis reports. And then you can see all the different types of analysis reports available with the investment analysis. It would be on a cash flow investment sale property, comparative lease analysis, lease versus own analysis, loan amount analysis, target cap rate analysis, all these different analyses. A lot of times people come in and say, oh, I don't know what tool to use. I don't know where to start with the Analyst Pro. Well, this is a great reason, especially with these 23 different tools in here, to take advantage of our training center. So down here in our training center, you can see we got a quick start video. It's 5 minutes long. It's under 5 minutes long. And then some real best practice videos in here as well. So take advantage of that training center. It's available to all of you, regardless if you subscribe or not. Let me say that again. The training center and the training videos are available to all CIN members, Century 21 Commercial members, whether you pay us our 50% or subsidy or not. And the reason is because Randy is just an amazing guy. And Randy and I have a great relationship and work together, as you said, Randy, for many, many years. So what we did is we wanted to make these available to all of your members, as well as some of the calculator tools and mapping tools that are in the system. Now, what I'm going to show you to make a property flyer and commercial package is part of the subscription system. The subscriptions are $600 a year, but with what we've negotiated with Century 21, it's half that price. So it's $299 a year for an annual subscription, unlimited use. You get everything in the Analyst Pro that we have available, with the exception of demographics. Demographics are on a per usage basis just because we pay for those demographics. Now, with that, what we've done is, like I said, we've got the investment analysis and lease analysis reports. We've got property reports such as property crime reports, property environmental reports. We have flood map reports. We also have full demographic reports. What we did in the Commercial Package Pro tool, where you would go to build your flyer or offering memorandum, is we combined those reports into one stellar package for you. One, and I say it's stellar because your clients are going to go, oh, wow, this is stellar. But one stellar, awesome package for you to present to your clients. And it generates the package in both a PDF format, so you can print it, you can bind it, you can email it to the client. Also in a website format. So it's actually going to create a property website for you. And that's what I want to take some time and demo with you. And I'm not going to take a whole lot of time because this is so easy and so quick. First thing I'm going to do is come up here and go into the Commercial Package Pro tool up in the top of the dashboard. You'll see it's the one closest to your name. And then I'll put in my package name, and I'm just going to call this, we're going to do a quick Dollar General demonstration. And we did this demonstration live on the floor of the 121 conference in the Expo Center just about a month and a half ago, I guess it was, Randy, a little over a month ago.
Yep.
And we were able to show in less than 20 minutes not only how to make a property flyer, but to make a whole commercial package. And that's what I'm going to do today as well. So we're going to call this the Dollar General, and I'm just going to call this the flyer because this is going to be the short one. And then when you first use the Analyst Pro, you want to create a folder for your different properties. And I have a folder for the 121-2020 that we did together, Randy and I did together. But you can see I have some different folders in here. This is for the CCIM 104 class, for a presentation in New Orleans that I did, those types of things. So you can just create folders either based on your client name, the property name, location, just like you would on your computer. So I'm going to save this into that 121-2020 folder and say create new commercial package pro. First thing it's going to say, well, is this a sale listing that you're working on, or sale property, or a lease property? That Dollar General, we're going to say that's going to be a sale property, so I'll come in and select sale property. Of course, I've already used this name because I was doing a demo before with that name. Thank you, the analyst, for letting me know that. All right, you're going to see up here at the top all the steps included in making this flyer. I've got the property details section, the report details section, and then generate report. So we're going to go through, we're just going to follow these steps one by one and enter the information to put into our flyer. So the first thing I've got, and you can tell what's required up here with this little asterisk. The first thing I'm going to put in is, well, when was this property built? This is a real property that I'm using, and it was built in 2001. And the property address is 5405 Williams Drive. And that is in a suburb of Austin, Texas, in a suburb called Georgetown, Texas. 78633 is a zip. You'll see that the address is a required field because we geocode this property. What I mean by geocode, we basically figure out exactly where is that on a map, and it can be any property anywhere in the world. In fact, we have a lot of Century 21 commercial users. A whole company in Canada for Century 21 uses the Century 21 Bravo. And Randy, I think you said you had a testimonial from them as well on how they're using it.
Yes, I do.
Wonderful. And we'll send that out to everybody on this as well. We're going to buy this little Dollar General property for $980,000. It's on 2.19 acres and is 9,100 square feet in size. You see I have a little drop down next to land size. I need to select acres here, not square feet. And then also I have a drop down on property size. That's because we could do square feet, square meters, as well as units. So if you're dealing with an apartment complex, self-storage property, anything that's rented by the unit, you would select units. Well, this Dollar General is rented by the square feet, so I'll enter all that information and press the apply button. It then comes in and it's going to map out exactly where that Dollar General property is on a Google map. And so, yep, this is where it's at. If I want to move the pin around, I can move the pin around just like this and then press the continue button. Now that I've got the property geocoded, there's so much I can do with this. But what I'm going to do initially, and then I'll come back later and run a bunch of demographic reports and things like that. But what I'm going to do initially is just make the most basic flyer and show you how quickly you can do this. I'm going to add some pictures, obviously, to my flyer. So I've got 4 pictures I'm going to add to this. You can drag and drop the pictures, as I'm going to do, just from my folder system. So I'm just going to drag this over and then crop that photo. And that will become my primary image. The first image here would be the primary image that you're using. And I'll do this for, say, a few more photos. Crop that image. Let's get an interior shot of this Dollar General. So you can see just how quickly I can come in. Now the reason we're cropping these photos is because we want them to fit perfectly on our template. So we just make this so when you're coming in, if you've ever built a flyer from scratch, you know, adjusting and putting these pictures on can be a real hassle. We've taken that out for you. We basically said just drag some pictures over here or open some pictures, up to 10 of them. We'll crop them and we'll put them perfectly on our template system. The next thing I'm going to do is put in a little property description. Now, I basically copied and pasted this. So I'm going to come into my property description that I got. Frankly, I got this off of their website. So I'm just going to come in and say, okay, I'm going to copy and paste a description of what a Dollar General is. I have 1,000 characters I can put in this and then press the continue button. This is where I can go in and start using the other tools within the Analyst Pro. So as I mentioned before, I can add an investment analysis piece to this, which will do a cash flow analysis on the Dollar General and include it. And I can do a 5 or a 10 year. We're going to do that next. Right now, I'm just going to make a flyer. If you were doing a lease property, you could also do a lease analysis, and it would show the cash flow of the lease and the lease details. So a tenant would love this as well as a landlord. If I want to add demographics, I can just click that button and add demographics. If I want to add a flood, crime, environmental report, I could click on the location risk analysis and add that. If I want to do an aerial location map report, where's this at in the state of Texas? Some of you may not know Georgetown. Your client may not know that. So we map it out. You can actually annotate the map as well. We are going to create just the simplest of flyer right now. So I'm going to press the continue button. Didn't check any of those. So right now it's saying, okay, what report details do you want? Well, here's where I could add additional items. So if I wanted to add any PDF attachments or images, I could do that. And one of the things that I do have a site plan. So I'm going to come over and maybe just add a site plan. So I dragged and dropped, and just so everybody can see what I'm doing here. Here's my folder for my Dollar General property, and I just had this site plan, and I just dragged and dropped this site plan right over to this particular section. So any PDF, any image file you can add. Now this also will add this particular attachment as a piece of the table of contents. So your flyer is going to have a table of contents. So I want to edit the name of this so that's a pretty nice name so it appears on my table of contents as well as the header on that particular report. So I'm going to say site plan. And I'll make it 2 words, site plan, confirm. Now the other thing, and this will be automatic for you, it's not automatic for me, but automatic for you is you will have an attachment in your account. So since you're a Century 21 commercial member, when you sign up and you log into the Analyst Pro, you will automatically have in this section this 2020 Why Century 21 commercial. And you can thank Randy Workman for this. And so Randy, what is this and how would it help them get in the door or get a listing?
Yeah, great. So this is something that we have created from our listing presentation. You can find it on Toolkit CMA. You can also find it on Business Builder on 21 Online. So there's about 30 pages in a PowerPoint format. It's all editable. If you use it through Toolkit CMA, it'll auto-populate all of your information, your headshot, if you've got one in there. And then if you also pull in a property, you can customize it there too. But for this purpose, I would just recommend you create your own from that 30 pages and maybe make it 5, 6, 7 pages. This is an example more to show you, but it's very generic in the sense that it's just got the regular Century 21 commercial logo. You're going to want to go into Toolkit CMA or Business Builder, create your own Why Century 21 commercial and call it whatever you want. And then once you do that and turn it into a PDF, you can do exactly what Todd just showed you, which is you can drag and drop that into your library so that when you go to add that, that's personalized to you, not so generic like the one here. And this is more for you guys to see what it looks like. So it's a great feature.
Perfect. Thanks, Randy. And we'll take a look at it. So this will generate a sample flyer and sample report, and then we'll see what that looks like in that report. Next is now our table of contents report layout. And this is where you can rearrange any of the items by just simply dragging and dropping them. So I've got my table of contents and cover page at the top. Property info and disclaimer. We automatically have the Century 21 commercial disclaimer added for you. So that's on all of your pages. Property description, property photos, Why Century 21. Now this is quite a few pages, the Why Century 21 commercial. So I'm going to pull this down, and as Randy said, you can kind of edit it down to about 7 pages or however many pages you like. So in this case, this should flow pretty nice with an overview of the property, such as address and price, a description, the photos, then that site plan attachment, as well as the Y21 value proposition that we'll show you in just a second. Next, you can select from 5 different current templates we have, and we're working on some additional templates as I speak. So we've got a classic template. This is very clean, all the way from our geometric, our stellar template that I was telling you about earlier, block template, and Anvil. I'm just going to select Anvil template. The other thing in your account is it will automatically default to the Century 21 Relentless Gold accent color. So you won't have to enter the accent color. This is part of your default settings and it's set up one time. But that accent color matches the Relentless Gold in the Century 21 commercial brand. So I'm going to keep with that color and press on the continue button. Here is now where I'm ready just to simply hit generate report. So as you can tell, if I didn't talk for so long, and if Randy didn't talk for so long, we would have probably done this in less than 5 minutes. Literally what we did is put in just the property basics, we put in some pictures, 4 pictures, you can put up to 10, and we put in a property description. Boom, 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 and then that value proposition we just dragged and dropped over here. That's it. That's all I need to do, and now it's going to generate a property flyer, property package for me. In this case, I'm going to make a standard PDF, but you have the option of clicking on the yes radio button down here to create what's called the bind offset print ready. If you wanted to print this on 2 sides and bind it, what it would do is it would offset so you have that 1/2 inch margin that's perfect for binding, and then also offset the page numbers so that the facing pages are mirrored with each other. It's a great feature, especially if you're going to print with your book here. And Randy, we did hand some sample offering memorandums out at the 121 conference, and I think we printed 150 and they flew off the shelves. I know I didn't bring any home. So did you have any extras? And if anybody needs one, is there a possibility of getting anybody a sample?
What I can do is I can send the cover that I created and then the electronic version, because what you just said, Todd, they flew off the shelves, especially after I told them how to utilize this for a listing presentation. So, but I can do it electronically.
Okay, great. So if anybody wants a copy of the cover page that Randy built for the book, which was absolutely beautiful, branded, of course, Century 21, and then a sample of the package itself. And we'll be creating a sample package here so I can send that out to everyone as well, and I will. Now, once you hit the generate report button, it can take up to 10 minutes to generate the report. And it typically takes longer the more items that you have added to the offering memorandum or report. Now, the reason that is because if you want a flood map or an environmental, we're going into databases and pulling this information live from these sources out there. Same with the demographics. Now, we didn't do that in this case, so this report would be completed in just a couple of minutes. When the report is completed, 2 things will happen. One, you will receive an email. And so let me go in my email system here. Now, I created this right before we started, but it will create an email for you where now I can come in and show, hey, here's the Property Package Pro. It's delivered directly to me, and it includes the PDF version right here for me as well. I can click on that PDF version and open it. I also have the option of opening a web link to a website. So this will be emailed directly to your account, to your email account. It also will save that package under the completed packages reports section in the Commercial Package Pro. So when I go into Commercial Package Pro, all of my flyers, all of my offering memorandums are now saved for me. So I'll just click on this Dollar General flyer. If I hover over the icon over here, this little gear wheel, you can see it says also open property website, since it created a property website automatically. Let's take a look at the flyer, and then we'll come back and we'll make a whole package out of this, and then we'll look at the website version of that as well. So here, again, we use the Anvil with the Relentless Gold. You can see how it's branded. We've got the Century 21 commercial logo that brands. If you have a specific logo, and Randy, I don't know the details of this, but I know like Century 21 Bravo has a logo that they put in their system. So I take it some offices have a logo and they can brand this then themselves very easily.
Yeah, so real quickly on that, if you go into Brand Center As long as you're activated as a commercial specialist, you can make sure you have your own DBA logo. It'll automatically do it for you by just going into Brand Center, choosing the logo you want. There's quite a few to choose from, and creating your DBA logo there.
Perfect. Thanks, Randy. Yeah, and so that would be the logo that you have for your brand. And then coming down, you can see we've got the table of contents, the property overview page with the company disclaimer down here. And this again is the Century 21 approved disclaimer that Randy had provided us. This is the property description that I copied and pasted in, as well as again that primary photo that we selected. Here's the different photos, and I did 4 different photos for this property. And then we come in and did the value proposition, why Century 21 Commercial. This is what Randy said that you can put for yourself, your own image, your own details, and make it as short or as long as you want it. And then finally, the last page is your contact information. Have your name, your company information, and all of your full contact information automatically done. Again, this whole flyer, this whole package that we just created that you could walk into a client, we did in 5 minutes or less. Now, let's take this to the next level. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go into that existing Dollar General flyer that we just made. I'm going to select on the little icon button over here and select on duplicate and modify. So I'm going to take everything that we just did together and I'm going to modify this. I'm going to change the name to detail. And I'm going to say detail OM for offering memorandum, and I'm going to save it still in that same folder. So I'll press continue. Now what this will allow me to do is keep that flyer and keep the inputs for that flyer so I can go back and modify. If I have to change the price or something in the future, I can do that very quickly. But now everything that I've done before is still in the system. I just want to add to it. So I'm going to come in and say, yep, that's everything that we did together. Here's the photos. Here's the description that we did together. But now I'm going to go crazy. I want an investment analysis. I want some demographics. I want location, risk, flood, crime, environmental stuff. I want that aerial location map report. Now up here before you saw we put in the property details, we selected the report details, and then we generated the report. Well, this is all going to change from 3 simple steps now. As soon as I press the continue button, it's going to add the steps for us now to do the investment analysis, the demographic, the location risk, the aerial map, and then finally generate a new report. But this time it's going to be the full offering memorandum report. In the investment analysis, and I go through this in great detail on some of the training center sections on doing an investment analysis. I'm going to do this fairly quickly because this webinar, I want to give you an overview, and then there's other resources that go in and show you how to do this in great detail, including a help icon up here. It says, how would I do an investment analysis? And so I'm going to say, okay, we're going to buy this. Maybe it's going to take us a month to close it. So we're going to come in and say, we're going to buy this in April. And the income on this property, I just know it's $83,725. And the income is going to go up 3% a year. If I had a multi-tenant property, I could put all the leases and every detail of the lease in there. There's no other income on this. They didn't put a red box or anything out front. So 0 on the other income. It's a long-term corporate guaranteed lease. Normally I'd put a 5% vacancy in there, but I'm going to say 0 because it's a long-term corporate guarantee by Dollar General. And Dollar General is going to pay all expenses. So I'm going to put 0 in expenses. Again, if you had a property, you wanted to show the annual expenses, you could do that there. If you want to show it detailed expenses, you could put those details in. Again, we make this very, 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 very simple and easy with great output, but we take it to the next level. We take it all the way to the professional level. We have people that are running REITs and pension funds. We have a lot of CBRE, institutional brokers and investors using the platform as well. So it goes all the way from making a flyer to several $100 million investment property they're using the TheAnalyst PRO for. Next, can we get a loan on this? Yeah, let's say we can get a loan. So we get a bank quote at 75%. We'll say 5% interest, 25-year amortization, and they're going to want a balloon in 10 years, and we'll pay the banker 1% fee. That just comes straight from the bank. And then I say, well, I'm going to sell this in the future, and we'll say an 8.25 cap rate. We've got a lot of details on where we can get this future cap rate or sale cap rate. I have a whole session in the training center on predicting future cap rates that I go into this in detail. So check that out. Next, I choose what reports do I want to include in my package. So I got the 5-year before tax report. I can select it. Maybe I want the 10-year after tax report. I want that in there too, so I can select those. What portions of the report would I like in here? So I've got graphs on operating expenses, cash on cash returns, optimal periods to own the property, leverage. Since I have a loan, I can do an impact leverage. Since I'm doing both the before and after tax, I can do all that. And you may say, oh my gosh, this is way too much and way too fast. Again, just wanted to show you an overview of what the capabilities are and how you can come back in here and do this with just a little bit more training on the investment analysis side. And look, just that quickly, I've completed a full investment analysis input for this particular property. I get me a nice check mark up here at the top. And this shows where I'm at now, demographic analysis. All right, well, I want to do demographics on this property. It's a small retail property, so I like to do a 5-minute drive time around small retail properties. So I'll just select the radio button, drive time, select how many minutes I want. We reach out to our demographic provider, Esri. We do that 5-minute drive time around this Dollar General property. It's already geocoded, so now it's easy for us. And we come in and say, okay, what reports do we want to include? I'm going to make this real simple. We're just going to put in an executive summary report. It's going to give me population details. And then I want a traffic count report as well. I'm going to do a traffic count. We're adding infographics very soon too. So you'll be able to see infographics and pull infographics in the very near future. We're adding that to the system. You'll see up here where this credit, each time I check on one of these boxes, you can see it uses a credit. This is the only additional charge we have in TheAnalyst PRO, and it's per demographic report. It's $2 per demographic report because Esri charges us those fees. But these are very, very high impact demographic reports. Now I can select if I want a flood map, a crime information, environmental map. I'm going to do the flood and the environmental. The crime is a little bit more applicable to multifamily apartment complexes versus commercial properties. So I'm going to stick with the flood and the environmental reports here. And I'll go through these here with you briefly and show you what they all mean. Next, we said, well, we want to annotate this image and put some maps in here. So as you can see now, I've got the property details check mark, the investment analysis check mark, the demographic analysis check mark, the location risk analysis with the flood and the environmental check mark. Super easy to do. I've got one check mark left to do here, and this is this aerial location map. First thing I want to do is I want to annotate this map. So I'm going to get it just the way I want on this screen so I can come in and annotate this Dollar General property. I'm going to select on annotate images when I have the screen where I want it. And then we can do a bunch of cool stuff. So let's see, I can add text to this. I can add shapes to this. I can add an image. I can draw on it. Let's see what the draw does. So first of all, maybe I want to outline where this property's at. So I'm going to draw. I'm not very good at freehand drawing. I'm kind of squiggly when I do that. So I got a polygon that I can add. And let's do this in a yellow, and it defaults to 50% opacity, and I think that's good. So I'll press the start button when I've got all that selected. And now I can just kind of walk around this property. So let me start at the front property line, and we're just going to walk around this property and identify I can kind of identify on this map the market boundaries, at least close market boundaries. And that street curves a little bit. When I'm done, what I'm going to do is just double click on my mouse button, and now I have outlined that particular property. If I want to add like a thumbnail image to this, I can upload any thumbnail images that I want. So you can see I've got like a Starbucks and different thumbnail images. I'm going to select the Dollar General image and upload it. If you want to add images to your image library, you just choose File, add them in there, and they stay and save in there so you can use them in the future. I'm going to put this over here. Maybe I'm going to angle it a little bit, make it look all pretty on my Dollar General property, and put it down here toward the front of my property. Boom, just like that. And maybe people still can't see this, so I'm going to put an arrow on here. So here's some different shapes I can add. I'll add an arrow. By the way, folks, I'm spending more time annotating this than I did actually creating the rest of this report, right? But the annotation is super fast and super easy. So I add this arrow, but I'm not happy with the opacity of this arrow. So I'm going to come up and say, well, let's edit this. Let's just make this 100%. Yeah, that looks better. And so then I can do that. If I want to add a subject text to that, I can do that. I'm going to save this annotation, and I can click the next to continue button. I've got now my area location, my annotated view, my street view option, if there's a street view. And then I'm going to drag, I want that annotated view first. Street view, if it's available, you could come in and click on the add new, and it will come up and it will let you know if it's available or not. But here is the street view from Google of this Dollar General property. And I'll click on the capture button. We want to come in and edit it, crop it, and I'm done with that. So I've got my annotated, my location, my street view, all that's going to be added to my package. I've got nice check marks all the way across the top. Now I've still got that site plan I drug over here. I've got the C21 commercial, so I'm good there. I think I've got everything I need. If you had sales comps, you could drag and drop maybe a PDF of sales comps over here as well. Any market information that wasn't included in what we're providing. All right, let's take a look. We've got the property information disclaimer still, the property description, property photos, and the site plan, and the C21 commercial. All of those are there. Now we've added the 5-year investment analysis, 10-year investment analysis, the demographic reports, the location risk report, the aerial annotation location report. I want to reorder some of this. So again, I want that C21 commercial here. And I think I want the aerial location map up here with the photos and site plan information. Before they start getting into the numbers and the details, we'll show them where it's at. All right, that looks like a good layout, good table of contents for me. We're going to make this the classic template. And again, it's going to be branded for the Relentless Gold C21 commercial. I'm going to create this in just a regular PDF and press generate report. Now this one will take about 10 minutes because I've added everything in here for this offer memorandum. But you saw how fast it was for us to put this in. In fact, I think with me going through and explaining the whole thing, it took me less than 15 minutes. So you can imagine if you're doing this yourself, after you've done this 1 or 2 times, you could probably do this in, like I said, 10 to 15 minutes without any issue. Now, when that report is completed, then what will happen is we'll create that PDF of that report here, and we'll also create that property website, and it will email me when that's done. I'm going to select on the property website because I showed you the PDF before. I want to show you what the website looks like at this time. And I'm going to take a lesson from Mr. Workman over here that just did a link to our website, and I'm going to add this as another link for all of you as well, so you can take a look at this and use this. This is now our full offering memorandum. So you see the branding and your contact information will be down here. I've got the property description. I can just press on that link and it gives me the description, the property photos for that property, the area location map report. Remember, I made this previously, so my annotation's a little bit different than the one I made previously. And you can see where it's at. You can see the street view of the property and then a plat view of that. Our 5-year investment analysis report. So this is going to show the cash flows over that 5-year holding period time, as well as the graphs that I added on with that cash on cash return. I like graphs a lot, and I think clients really respond well to graphs. And then you can see the graphs are a little bit interactive too. So when you highlight on the web version versus the PDF version of the graphs, they have a little bit more annotation to them. So you can kind of point this out to them a little bit clearer. Same with the 10-year report. Larger transactions, I do recommend doing the 10-year. Probably the before tax is a good one to start with. Most institutional reports will do a 10-year cash flow analysis report. So this report right here, you can do on any property all the way up to several $100 million type properties to your basic rental house if you want. Demographic report, that was our 5-minute drive time on that particular property. Here was our executive summary with the population trends, and then we have that traffic count map as well, showing what the traffic counts around that area is. If you remember, I did a pretty simple demographic analysis. The location risk analysis, is this in a flood zone? So we're pulling a FEMA flood map for this particular location. What's the known environmental records between this property from a 1/4 mile to a 1/2 mile around the property? And commercial real estate, we look at any hazards, contaminations within a 1/4 mile, unless you're downhill from a contamination, then we look out as much as a 1/2 mile. So that's why we do the 1/4 mile and 1/2 mile. Now these red pins, they do not mean these are contaminations and we have to get all excited about it. Basically, they are just environmental records that are available. And we show all the environmental records that are available or that are around that property so that you can kind of get an idea. So this will say, what's that interest type? What's the source of that environmental item? And State Master basically just recorded environmental. It could be a permit, it could be a generator they have there. So these State Master categories are not environmental impact. So well, how do you know that, Todd? Well, there's a couple of things. Number one, if there is compliance or enforcement activity, it will say it here. And then it will give you the source that is reporting that enforcement activity. Now I'm going to open this link in a new tab. So you might notice these are all hyperlinks, especially on the web version. It's very easy to come in and look. So what I did is it comes in and says, okay, what is this? State Registry Basic Identification for a Facility Site. Does not talk about contamination. But we have all of these different types, and some of them will say compliance assistant. Each state, we merge multiple states, all 50 states, into our database. Some of them have different little highlights, I guess, or descriptions, if you will. Hazardous waste program. Well, that sounds not so good. Infectious waste. Well, if I saw that as a description, corrective action. So all of these you're looking at and saying, well, of course, these are all hazardous waste programs. These are not so good. That this is something maybe even before I get the listing or spend the time on the listing, I want to know about. Compliance activity, enforcement, formal enforcement actions. You start seeing stuff like this, it should pull up a red flag for you to maybe do some additional research. Also, where is the source at? So I can open now, I'm going to open this link in a new tab to show all the sources. So this was in Texas, so it came from the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. I can contact them. These are all the different sources around the United States that we are pulling this information in. You can see a lot of state sources that we're merging into our database for those. So great resource for you, a great starting point for your environmental. I won't guarantee that the banks will take this environmental report, but it is a wonderful way for you to go in and mitigate future risks on that property. And then finally, the value proposition that Randy talked about with the Y-centric 21 commercial Y121. And you can, again, brand this through your system just for you. That, my folks, is our offering memorandum in literally 15 minutes. The rest of my time is describing it and showing you how it would work. You can copy and paste this link out. I've had people say, how long is this web link good for? And my response is, as long as you're subscribed, that link is good for. You can also now send the link out and they could click on this little icon up here in the corner and it will download the PDF version of that offering memorandum. You can see we made a 39-page, very impressive 39-page offering memorandum, and we did this together. I would say the only thing that would require a little bit more attention would be that financial or investment analysis, which we have tons of training on. But if you weren't comfortable with running the investment analysis, look how easy it was to do the demographics, the location, risk, and add that value proposition. So you're walking in with a stellar, I'm going to go back to stellar, it's my word of the day, stellar package to show someone how to use this. That concludes like the overview of the commercial package. I'm going to let maybe Raina, if she can do a one-on-one demo with you, she can help you get your account set up. If you have specific questions on doing something specific, she is happy to help on that. So Raina, you may want to throw your email address into that chat box as well. How did I brand all of this for me? Basically, when you log in for the first time, click on your name up at the top corner. You can put in the logo here. It's just a matter of choosing the logo file. You can add a bio. I think you saw in every step of the way, in every report, I could just check the box to add my bio. Some states have disclosure requirements. So this could be a agency disclosure form as well, a company overview, anything that is in a PDF format, and it could be up to 2 megabytes, so multiple pages in that PDF format. The default section, if you are in the US or not in Canada, you would want to select USA for the mortgage calculations. These are just the defaults that we have. That company disclosure disclaimer agreement, the company logo disclaimer, which we're automatically using the Century 21. And then this is also where you could change the accent color as your default accent color going forth. So if you had a specific template that you like to use, you had a specific accent color you want to use, you can put that in. We default all the Century 21 to the Relentless Gold, so it's already done for you in here. And then, of course, you saw how I could overwrite it when I went to make the package, and so you could do that as well. And with that, I'll just go back. I think, Randy, you put in a website here, TheAnalyst PRO /C21. On this website, you will see where you can subscribe to the TheAnalyst PRO. You can also come in and see all that's included in your free version that you have. And then we have this 50% off price, 50% off for Century 21 commercial, thanks to the subsidy from Century 21 and Mr. Workman. Definitely an unbelievable offer. An unbelievable offer that's not offered to anyone else, to be honest with you. So take advantage of that. Randy, any additional comments? I know you had a few things on best practices for listing presentations, getting your foot in the door.
Yeah, no, great stuff, Todd, as always. Just every time I see this, it just seems like, why wouldn't somebody want this? But guys, real quick, best practice that agents tell me, and I hear it time and time again. We've even got some testimonials on this, but this is a tool that will help you win business, because even if you don't get an assignment, let's say that you go into meet with an investor, you're talking about yourself, your capabilities, maybe you're even looking at getting a listing. Investor might even say to you, hey, that's great, thanks for coming in today, but I do want a couple other broker opinions on this property. So I'll get back to you. A really good comeback is that you can basically say, look, I got Brody up there. Look, let me do this for you. Let me create a comprehensive investment analysis of demographics, location risk, even environmental risk, to show you the capabilities of what I can do for you if you were to give me a listing. And I understand you have other people you work with, but I think this will really help you and let you understand what I do. So when they do that, what are they going to say? No, I don't want a free investment analysis. So this is something that they use, and I can tell you, and you're going to listen to this video from Brody Nash real quick, is once they do that, even if you don't get the listing because they have, a really good agent that's working with them, they're going to now know what your capabilities are. What Todd just showed you is pretty impressive. So that's just one way that a lot of our agents are getting in the door using this. And the last thing I'll say before Todd plays this is, I call this a speed to market tool. There's a lot of companies out there that don't do anything like this. The ones, the big boys that do this, whether they're using this or not, you can get back to a client quickly, because you can see how fast Todd did this. So that's just one best practice. And Todd, I'll just let you go ahead and play this. I think this is a great little quick testimonial, and then just to encourage everybody to check this out.
This is a fantastic testimonial from Brody Nash. He's one of your commercial directors at Century 21. I think been in the business for a couple of years now. And I posted a link to this YouTube video as well, so you can watch this when we're done. But Brody comes in and he talks about how he got a call on a Sunday evening from the head of Furniture Row, and they wanted to meet the next morning. So he got on the Analyst Pro. He ran what I just showed you. He did it very, very quickly. He walked into the meeting the next morning with the printout of his offering memorandum. So he included the demographics of different things. The Furniture Row, and I talked to Brody about this in great detail and face-to-face. Furniture Row had several listing appointments set up that day, and Brody was his first appointment of the day. And by the time he saw the package, he talked with Brody. They signed a listing agreement on the spot. He says, I don't need to meet with anybody else. I'm ready to go. I'm very impressed. And so Brody listed this particular property. I think it was around almost close to $2 million. And what was really awesome is he texted me when he landed this property. I think it was about September or so last year, 2019. He landed the listing on this property. I saw him again in September at one of your commercial academies, Randy, and talked to him, and he said everything was going great. He was showing the property and things of that nature. Well, January comes and he sends me a text message on my phone, and it was one evening. He said, we're closing tomorrow on the Furniture Row property, and he said I had and I don't know how much I can say, but he said I had both sides. He said I had the listing and I found the buyer on this. And then he comes in and he does an unsolicited testimonial video for the 121 conference that we played at the 121 conference. And Brody's commission check, the largest commission he's ever received on that particular deal, was $77,300. And he came in, and I was so proud. I was so excited to see this. But Randy played it in front of what was about over 100 people at the 121 conference, and Brody talking about this. So I'm sharing it with you on this web. I put it up on YouTube. Hopefully Brody meant for it to be public. But a really great testimonial video, how people are using this. He comes in, he shows even how he created this. He's working on another project. He's working on another listing. He put it together and created the website out of it. He was so excited to have the website version of this and create the website side of it. We have, Randy, last I pulled up, we have about 160, 170 signups now of people that's been using this. Some of them have been using it for the last 2 years. Everybody's been renewing their subscriptions with us. And I will also say we're locking in that subscription price for at least 2 years. So if you sign up at the $299, 50% off price, and sign up with us, then we'll lock that in for 2 years. So you're guaranteed for the 2 years. But Brody, thank you for a great testimonial. Thank you for using this. We had at the 121 conference, I had at least 3 of the agents from Graham's office, which is Century 21 Bravo, come up to me. And these are new agents coming in, and they are landing large deals. And they're coming in saying they didn't have the confidence to do this. Now they're running, presenting these offering memorandums, using the Analyst Pro, and walking in and landing multi-million-dollar transaction deals. And they were just ecstatic. And of course, that made me ecstatic. And I know, Randy, that makes you happy too. So with that, I'll let you close it out, sir.
I appreciate that. As Todd said, I mean, this is a great product, guys, but I can tell you this will separate you from a lot of the other commercial practitioners that are out there. I've run into a lot of lazy ones, but then you have the really good, top-notch professional ones too. And this will just separate you and put you into that professional category, as you can see from the demonstration today. So Todd, thanks for putting this on today. Guys, may want to leave this open, Todd, so they can click on that link. Feel free to email me, randy.workman@century21.net, and I can send you any information you want, sample reports, help you, even do an overview of the Commercial Investment Network. So thanks, you guys. I appreciate the time, and I encourage everyone to sign up.
Awesome. Thanks, Randy. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Appreciate your time today. We are recording this, so we'll get a copy of this recording over to Randy, and he can post it on your internal network.